Okay, next we kind of have a layered tweet from the CEO of Replit, Amjad, and also from Mitchell Hashimoto, who's the creator of Ghosty and also the founder of HashiCorp. So Ghosty is leaving GitHub, and they released this blog today saying basically that GitHub's outages have been unreal. Mitchell talks about this really interesting story about like how even from college, and I think now he's in his 40s, like he's been, or I guess he's in his late 30s, he's been, using GitHub every single day. He's been obsessed with it. That's kind of like been his doom scrolling, was going through issues and going through PRs because he's just been working in open source for so long. Like HashiCorp was all of these open source projects, and now Ghosty is like this open source terminal that's really solid, very memory efficient, even though I did see a tweet today that was talking about a memory leak from Ghosty, but personally I've never experienced that. But basically he has this notebook where he would put an X for every day that GitHub would have an outage recently because their reliability has just been so bad. And he says basically it's been happening every single day for the past week or so, or the past few weeks. And they wrote this blog about Ghosty, the project is leaving GitHub. They're going to leave a read-only version on GitHub, but they're trying to move somewhere else to manage the PRs and the issues. And even like today that I'm recording this, they hadn't planned it in the blog, but there was a massive outage where basically you couldn't read any pull requests on GitHub for about 2 hours. And if you go to their status page, you can see that incident that they reported. And that alone is crazy, but I just wanted to cover this tweet as well from Amjad, who's the CEO of Replit. And he's saying it's honestly impressive that GitHub kept the service up at all, given this kind of growth. And you can see here they're up to 90 million. And this chart doesn't really have a breakdown on timeline exactly, but you can just see it's been like a crazy hockey stick. And GitHub was obviously like the #1 leader in Git-based software management, but they're up to 90 million pull requests merged. Maybe that's like year to date, 1.4 billion commits and 20 million new repos per month. And he's saying that free services will become untenable with the advent of human level bots. Worth exploring micropayments, even cents per Git push might be enough to reduce spam and make this sustainable. This is idiotic, maybe powered by Bitcoin. Like nobody's going to do this. I mean, maybe it'll happen eventually in the future, but not anytime soon. Like it would have to be like a Stripe backed stablecoin situation, which Stripe is working on, but this is just stupid, like paying per push. But I actually do think the breakdown that people have right now, which makes a lot of sense, is one, usage based. So maybe if you're doing a lot of commits and a lot of actions, and you do pay for GitHub actions on usage based, so it's per like gigabyte hours, or you're essentially paying for the compute that you use, and there are competitors that offer a lot cheaper, like Blacksmith, and there's another one that Theo promotes. So they have kind of moved towards that, but the idea that free services will become untenable, I just don't believe this. I still think there are a lot of loss leaders. You look at all the AI companies, they're subsidizing to the max. They're giving you $200 plans that give you $5,000 worth of tokens. And also GitHub, I think, has a really solid model as well, where like anything that's free has to be public, and now they're training on your data as well. So you're basically giving them free money essentially from code level data that they can train on. And if you want to pay for private repos, which used to be free on GitHub as well, but they got rid of like 5-10 years ago, that is what you have to pay for. So I think that's a pretty good system. I think Replit does have a free tier as well. So I don't know how contradictory it is, but I do think you have to pay for like the major hosting on Replit. So it does make sense. And obviously AI companies like Replit are driving a lot of revenue, even though they are subsidizing in tokens. And I don't necessarily think Replit is subsidizing tokens as much as like the models themselves, like Anthropic and OpenAI and the labs, the foundation labs. And obviously the industry is going to have to move, like at the very least, like it seems like seat-based is going away, because for SaaS products, like you're going to have agents for doing most things. And I don't know if you can charge $20 per month per agent, but at the very least you can still charge seat-based per human. But I think that would be the first to go away, and it would be replaced by usage, but not like these cents per Git push microtransactions. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.